I'm the governor of Indiana, and it is 1 minute after midnight. It is November 8th, the day that we make America great again. I can report to you, he just landed, and he's on his way here. I'll tell you, it's incredibly exciting for me and my family to be with you. To have been invited a little more than 3 months ago to run and serve as the next Vice President of the United States of America. And I joined this campaign in a heartbeat because you have nominated a man for president who never quits, who never backs down. He is a fighter. He is a winner, and until very recently, it seemed like he was out there fighting all on his own, but now this movement is coming together. Michigan is coming together. We're going to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America. You know, I really do believe Donald Trump literally embodies the spirit of America. Strong, freedom-loving, independent, optimistic, and willing to fight every single day for what he believes in and for what will make America great again. You know, and it's not like it's exactly been a fair fight out there. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, ever since I joined this campaign, it's like I get up every morning, I got to turn on the television with a stick, you know. I never know what's going to be on there, you know. It's like the media's out there doing half of Hillary Clinton's work for her every day. It's like it's 2-on-1 out there, Michigan. But even though she's had all the advantages, Donald Trump's been winning hearts and minds every day, and he's going to win all the way to the White House. Remember about a week ago? What a difference a week makes, isn't it? Remember how the media was all reporting this thing was all but over, right? I mean, Hillary Clinton was naming cabinet appointments. Remember that? I mean, she was measuring curtains in the Oval Office or something. And then the American people showed up. You with me? I don't think Michigan was ever fooled. I mean, the truth is, we're leading in one national poll after another, and it is wheel to wheel here in the state of Michigan. And we're going to make America great again. You know, she may have the money, the media, and the special interests on her side, but we got something a little more powerful, don't we? We got a basket of the American people that are saying enough is enough. And we're going to make America great again. You know, the truth is, the groundswell of support here in Michigan and all across the country is evidence of the fact that more and more Americans every day have come to realize this is not so much a choice between two people. It's a choice between two futures. So let me tell you where I stand. I choose a stronger America. I choose a more prosperous America. I choose an America that cherishes and upholds our highest constitutional liberties. So I choose to stand with Donald Trump and every American who knows we can make America great again. You know, the truth of the matter is, I think the American people have just had enough. You know, I think they've especially had enough of the fast and loose ethics of Hillary and Bill Clinton. Am I right? I mean, you know, it's almost hard to keep up. It's almost hard to keep up with these things, isn't it? But let me see if I can help you out. So while she was Secretary of State in charge of all the foreign policy of the United States over here, she had a private foundation that was taking millions of dollars in contributions from foreign governments. And then in between those two things, she had this private server, right? Apparently just to keep all that stuff out of the public domain. And when the media found out about the private server, she used high technology and hammers to try and get rid of all of it. I mean, this summer, the FBI actually confirmed that she had classified information on that server, right? Exposing it potentially to being hacked by foreign powers, compromising our national security. But they ended up deciding that that was just, in their words, extremely careless, and they proceeded not to go forward. And a day or two ago, the FBI announced that they had, quote, not changed their conclusions. But you know, there's an old saying that facts are stubborn things. So let me give you a couple of facts, all right? Fact number one, mishandling classified information is a crime. All right? It just is. And here's what we know. Hillary Clinton said she never sent or received any classified information. The director of the FBI testified before Congress that, quote, there was classified information sent. Hillary Clinton said that there was nothing marked classified on her emails sent or received. Director Comey said before the Congress of the United States, that's not true. Hillary Clinton said, I did not email any classified information to anyone on my email, and the director said there was classified information email. We also found out that the FBI, that aides at the State Department actually offered the FBI a quid pro quo to change the classified status on some documents on that server. And then we found out this weekend that Hillary Clinton had her maid printing off sensitive government documents from her private email. You know, let me say this, men and women of Michigan, here on this election day, the first hour of that election day, if only for their decades of self-dealing, the politics of personal enrichment, pay-to-play, mishandling classified information, compromising our national security, and outright corruption, we must decide here and now that Hillary Clinton will never be elected President of the United States of America. It's reason enough. The American people are sick and tired of pay-to-play politics, and it's exactly the kind of politics that's going to come to a crashing halt when Donald Trump becomes President of the United States. Working with the re-elected majorities in the House and the Senate, Donald Trump and I are going to pass fundamental ethics reform. We're going to end the revolving door between government and the lobbying world. In a word, we're going to drain the swamp. You know, the truth of the matter is, today is a day that the American people can put an end to decades of Clinton corruption and close the history books once and for all on the Clintons by electing Donald Trump as President of the United States. But the truth is, this election's even about bigger things than their small ethics. And on this election day, we do well to reflect on that with our neighbors and friends. I mean, the simple fact is that this election is also about our security. It's about our prosperity. And it's about the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Don't you doubt it for 1 second. On the security front, despite traveling millions of miles as our Secretary of State, the world is more dangerous today than the day that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama took over our foreign policy. Our allies are less secure, our enemies are more emboldened. I mean, the literally wider areas of the Middle East are virtually spinning apart after the weak and feckless foreign policy of this administration. I mean, Hillary Clinton was the architect of the foreign policy strategies of leading from behind and moving red lines and feigning resets with Russia and paying ransom to terrorist sponsoring states. Let me make you a promise. When Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, we won't be paying ransom to terrorist sponsoring states. They'll be paying a price if they threaten or detain American citizens. We cannot have 4 more years apologizing to our enemies and abandoning our friends. For the American people to be safe, for the world to be safe, America needs to be strong. And Donald Trump will lead on the world stage with American strength. We will rebuild our military. We will restore the arsenal of democracy. We will give our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and Coast Guard the resources and training they need to accomplish their mission, and we will hunt down and destroy ISIS at its source so it can no longer threaten our people or inspire violence in the homeland. This election is about our security, but it's also about our prosperity. I don't need to tell you up here in Michigan, this is a very challenging time for families all across the state and all across this country. We're in the weakest economic recovery since the Great Depression. 1 in 5 American households don't have anybody under the same roof with a job. Hillary Clinton's plan, more of the same. Not the same, more of the same. More taxes, more regulation, more of the kind of bad trade deals that have been shipping jobs overseas, and worst of all, more Obamacare. I mean, they tell us this economy is the best that we can do, but I think y'all here in Michigan know better. It's not the best we can do, it's just the best they can do. And when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, we're going to put common sense American principles into practice, and we're going to get this economy working again for every American. We're going to work with a newly re-elected majority in the Congress. Hillary Clinton wants to raise taxes by $1 trillion. We're going to cut taxes across the board for working families, small businesses, and family farms. We're going to get rid of death taxes, and we're going to lower business taxes here in Michigan so companies in this state can create jobs here and compete more with companies around the world. We're going to repeal every single Obama executive order that's stifling jobs and growth in this economy. And when Donald Trump becomes negotiator in chief, the days of seeing American jobs heading south of the border and heading out of town are over. We're going to have trade. Trade's going to mean jobs, but it's going to mean trade is going to mean American jobs first. Once again, we're going to renegotiate NAFTA. We're going to get out of this Trans-Pacific deal, and we're going to hold our trading partners accountable to the promises they make to the people in the most powerful economy on earth. We're going to have trade that works for the American worker first. And lastly, when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States, we're going to repeal Obamacare lock, stock, and barrel. And we're going to hold them accountable in Washington, D.C. for all the lies of Obamacare. Do you remember them? You remember them? If you like your doctor, you can keep. Not true. If you like your health insurance, you can keep it. Not true. Health insurance costs will go down, right? Not true. The Obama administration just announced the other day, next year, nationwide, the average premiums on Obamacare are going to go up 25%. And remember that what Hillary Clinton said earlier this year. She said, you know, before they called it Obamacare, they called it HillaryCare. Hillary Clinton actually wants to fix Obamacare by importing the worst ideas from Canada. She wants to put what's called a single-payer, government-run insurance program right into the heart of this failed policy. You know, my favorite line, though, came from President Obama himself. He actually compared Obamacare about a week ago in Florida to the Samsung Galaxy 7 phones that spontaneously burst into flames. Did you know he did this? He did, huh? Here's what the president said, if you missed it. He said, quote, "When one of these smartphones has a few bugs, you don't pull it off the market. They upgrade it, they fix it. Unless it catches fire, then they pull it off the market." Well, what a coincidence, Mr. President, because that's exactly what we're going to do with Obamacare. We're going to pull it off the market so it stops burning up our wallets. And Donald Trump's not just going to repeal Obamacare, we're going to replace it. Not with more government, but with more choices. We're going to let the American people buy health insurance across state lines. The way you buy life insurance, the way you buy car insurance. We're going to use the power of the free market in this country to drive down the cost of health care. That's how you solve problems the American way. So it's about security, it's about prosperity, but it's also about the Supreme Court of the United States. I mean, with the passing of Justice Scalia, literally the balance of the court is on the ballot. If you cherish the Constitution and the God-given liberties enshrined there, you better think long and hard about that. All right? Elect Hillary Clinton as President of the United States, you better get used to more unelected judges using unaccountable power to legislate from the bench. But you elect Donald Trump as President of the United States, and you're going to have men and women appointed to the Supreme Court and to courts across this country that will strictly construe the Constitution of the United States of America in the tradition of the late and great Justice Antonin Scalia. So men and women of Michigan, for the sake of the rule of law, for the sake of limited government, for the sake of the sanctity of life, for the sake of our Second Amendment and the right to keep and bear arms, for the sake of all the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, we have to decide here and now that the next president to make appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States will be President Donald Trump. So on this election day, and how cool is it to see all of you out, and it's after midnight. It is November the 8th, the day we make America great again. I just would encourage you as his motorcade heads this way, and I'm going to pop back out and introduce the man himself. But I want to encourage you to do three things on this election day. Number one, vote. Bring a friend. Friends don't let friends vote alone. Go exercise that franchise that has been bought at such a high price and preserved through the generations for you. And vote to bring real change to America by making Donald Trump the President of the United States. And in the time that remains in this election, after you take care of your own vote, be sure to go tell somebody what this election is about. Because I don't really see this election as a choice between Republican and Democrat or liberal and conservative. I think it's like Ronald Reagan said years ago, it's a choice between up and down. It's a choice between whether we're going to continue to go down the hill to a weaker America at home and abroad, a more hollowed out American military, an America stifled by more taxes, more regulation, more Obamacare, walking farther away from our highest constitutional principles, or whether we're going to stop here in Michigan, plant our feet, turn around, and march back up the hill to a stronger America at home and abroad, a more vibrant American economy for this generation and the next, and an American grounded in our highest American ideals. That's the choice. And lastly, as you make plans to vote, you make plans to tell somebody. Have faith. Have faith in the people of Michigan and the American people to choose right. I mean, I truly do believe as you study the long and storied history of this country, you find that every time the American people have had a clear choice between a future built on our highest ideals and built on American strength, the American people will choose American ideals and American strength every single time. So have faith in our people. And if you're of a mind to exercise that other kind of faith, I encourage you to do that too. If you do like Karen and I do from time to time, you bow the head or bend the knee, it'd be a good time to do it in these challenging times. But let me be clear on this point. When I encourage you to pray, I'm here for the ticket, I'm here for the team, I'm here for the movement, but on this one, I think Abraham Lincoln had it right. Abraham Lincoln was asked in his time if he thought God was on his side. And Abraham Lincoln said, I rather concern myself more with whether we're on God's side than that God is on our side. So just pray for our country. Pray for America. Because America matters. It truly does. And as I slip backstage and get ready to welcome my running mate, the next time you see me, you'll see him. I'll make you a promise. If on this election day you go do everything that you can do, talk to your friends and neighbors, exercise your franchise, lay out that challenge, I'll make you a promise. That man is ready. This team is ready. This movement is obviously ready. If you go out and make sure that Michigan is ready, we will elect Donald Trump as the 45th President of the United States of America, and we will make America great again. Let's go get it done today, Michigan. Thank you, and God bless you.